Welcome to Tia's Table, where we talk about making fitness and wellness doable for busy women like you and me. Looking for healthy meal ideas, workout motivation, and good conversation? Don't worry, I got you, girl. Sit back, grab a snack, and let's have some girl talk. Hey girl, hey, welcome back to another episode of Tia's Table. I'm Tia, a certified nutrition coach and group fitness instructor. I help women develop healthy habits that align with their health, wellness, and fitness goals. If you or someone you know is interested in developing a healthier lifestyle, you can learn about my coaching services and the app that I use to coach by emailing me at tiavfitness@gmail.com. And you know what, girl? A friend of mine just talked to me like a couple days ago about something, and she was telling me like, oh, well, look for the update in your email, whatever. And I'm like, you know what? I need to start checking that email every day. Like I need to get on that and make sure I'm better about checking my email every day. But if you have questions about anything that I do, girl, email me, because if y'all start emailing me, that will force me to check my email every single day. So girl, welcome back. I'm supposed to be taking my braids out right now. I thought today I would sit down and take my braids out, but then I thought about it and I was like, well, Tia, what are you going to do with your hair when these braids come out? Like, what's your plan? In your mind, what did you think was going to happen when these braids came out? Now, what we know to be fact is that your braider is on vacation right now, right? She is not available to braid your hair, right? Okay, so that's number one. Number two, I had already decided that even though my suburban mom bust down would eat the girls up for Easter Sunday, I was just like, I don't feel like, I'm just not into it right now. Mainly because I've started running more again, because I'm training for a race, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But I'm training for a race, and having a lace closure doesn't seem like the smartest thing to do when you know you are going to be running quite a bit. Like, I would need to talk to the girl that did that hairstyle for me first to figure out what maintenance would be involved in that. Because right now, just me like talking myself through it, I'm like, that seems like a hairstyle that you get when you know you're going to be like a little bit more chill in all of your efforts. I don't know. I could be wrong. So I'm like, ooh, no. So then I'm like, well, Tia, girl, what are you going to do? Now, I knew this day would come that I would have to take these braids out, and it would be during a time where I could not get my hair braided. So in preparation for that, I ordered a drawstring ponytail. And it's here. Like it's here. But then, as I tend to do, because I'm an overthinker and an analyzer, I was like, ooh, Tia, let's state a few more facts. Number one, you are not a hair girly. Like, you didn't grow up having to do your own hair. You didn't have a sister, so you didn't grow up playing in her hair. I did end up having a daughter, and I did what I could until she was old enough to start going to like the salon and getting her hair braided and all that kind of stuff, right? I just know in my heart of hearts that the ponytail that I have probably should not be the ponytail that I think I'm going to wear right now. Like, that ponytail that I ordered really is giving, you could put that one on, but then like still put on like your cute little baseball cap and like go to the gym, or like go for your run, or like go run your errands. But it's really not giving Easter Sunday weekend, right? I would be better off keeping these braids in and getting like a cute wrap for the front of my hair, or wearing one of my cute little hats. That'll work, you know? I just knew in my gut that taking these braids out was not the right thing to do today. And I said, well, if you're not going to take your braids out, you can hop on the phone and call the homies real quick, because you haven't you haven't chatted with them in a few weeks. And I feel like a lot has been happening in the month of March. And I wanted to update y'all on it because as we do, we have these conversations and maybe we can help each other out. Now, before we get into what I called you about today, let's talk about what's on my table. I had the best Chipotle experience, and I know Chipotle is nothing new. We've all been there. We've all had a bowl or a burrito that just did everything we needed it to do. But girl, have you had the tacos? Have you had the tacos, and have you had them recently? I had the pleasure of having a car picnic with my boys a couple weeks ago after a doctor's appointment. I told y'all one of them broke an arm. After his appointment, they wanted a snack. I wanted a snack. We had, quite a few things to do before we knew it would be dinner time. And I was like, well, you know what? It's a Chipotle over here. One of y'all likes cheese quesadillas. Well, they both do like cheese quesadillas, but then they have other things if you want to try something new. One of my boys was like, yeah, well, I'm down to try some tacos. So Chipotle is good with me. I said, okay, let's go. Let's go. And because I didn't want to get a burrito, because that's normally what I would get for a car picnic. I didn't want to get a burrito because I knew that would be too filling. Like I knew that would be too much food. I also didn't want to get a bowl because when I get a Chipotle bowl, it is really an experience. Like I want to be able to sit down with a bag of Tostito chips, and I just want to be able to scoop that bowl chip by chip, eat and watch TV. Like if you want to give me a nice warm hug through food, that is going to be the way to do it. And I knew I couldn't do that, so I didn't want to get a bowl. So I was like, you know what? Let's give these tacos a try. I haven't had Chipotle tacos in a very long time. But how bad could it be, right? I ordered the tacos in the app, obviously, because I'm not new to this. I'm true to this, and I'm a millennial mom. Of course, I have the app. I go in the app. I say to myself, let's do barbacoa, because that's got to hit, right? That'll be delicious. I did the barbacoa. I did pinto beans. And if you don't like pinto beans, you could always skip them or get black beans, right? But I did pinto beans. Pinto beans, romaine, the salsa that basically looks like pico de gallo, cheese, and sour cream. And then I ordered a side of guacamole so we could dip our tacos into guacamole. And when I mean to tell you, they only give you 3 tacos in an order, and I had to give one of them to my offspring in the back seat. I first thought to myself, well, first of all, they should at least give you 4 tacos. I'm a growing woman here. And 3 was never going to be enough. But then, I reframed my thinking because we're also trying to eat with a purpose. And I'm like, but you know what? This was a good snack. This was a great way to get some protein in, to get some fiber in with those beans. And this was just enough to hold me over until dinner, which is exactly what I needed it to do. I needed it to just be good enough to keep me from making a food mistake between that time and dinner time. And girl, it did the job. It was so good and it tasted so good that the next time I was in my car, this time I was solo. So I got to get all 3 of the tacos for myself. I went back, got the same exact taco order, ate them in my car. I think I shared this on Instagram, and they were so good. I said, my goodness, have we all been missing out? Have we all been getting burrito bowls and possibly burritos when the tacos were always a choice? They were always right there. So I would highly recommend the next time you are out and about running around, running your errands, and you need a little something, because I know sometimes when you need just a little something, you'll go get a kid's meal from somebody, right? Or you might go to a coffee shop and get whatever you get from them, like a little, just a little something to nosh on while you're out running your errands, just to fill you up just a little bit. I am suggesting that the next time you're in that situation, girl, go to Chipotle and get the tacos. You don't have to get barbacoa. You get what you want put into your tacos, right? Now, they do overfill the tacos, so it might be a little messy, right? It could be. So what you want to do is after you take the tacos out of the bag, they come in a burrito bowl container, girl, break that bag open and lay that brown bag like it's a picnic blanket so that it catches anything that might spill. Hopefully you won't get anything on your outfit, but it'll be worth it. It will be worth it because those tacos were just that good. Another thing that I have eaten recently that I want to share because I think it's perfect for spring and summer is a pasta that I had while I was on vacation, but I have since recreated it at home and it was just as good. Now, this is something that I guess you could do hot or cold, actually, depending on how you store it in your refrigerator, how you store the leftovers. But it is very simple. It's an Alfredo pasta with zucchini, squash, and portobello mushrooms. Very simple, but if you do it right, when I mean to tell you it's good, it is a good meatless meal. Of course, you could always add meat to it if you wanted to, but that's not how they served it at the restaurant, and that's not how I made it at home. So let me very quickly tell you how to make it. You start with Alfredo sauce. And yes, you could absolutely buy it in a jar or a tub from the grocery store, but I do not recommend it. It's very easy to make your own sauce. You can make it one of two ways. You can either do heavy whipping cream and chicken broth with cheese and whatever seasoning you like. Whisk it, whisk it, whisk it. It will eventually get thick like a sauce, right? Or you can do milk, all-purpose flour, cheese, and butter. You whisk, 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 whisk. Well, with that way, you do have to start by making a roux with the butter and the flour, right? But then you pour the milk in, whisk, 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 add your cheese as your seasoning, and it will make a thick sauce, right? I season my sauce, no matter how I make it. I always season it with minced garlic, and we use Tony's Cajun seasoning because my kids like a spicier Alfredo pasta. So I season mine with that. Whisk, whisk, whisk. Pick your pasta. They all taste the same, just different shapes for preference. And girl, you've got a perfect Alfredo pasta, right? Now for the veggies, all you got to do is grill them in a cast iron skillet. Season them with salt and pepper. Boom. That's all you got to do, right? Make sure you do a rough chop. So don't chop them really small. Just do a very easy, quick, rough chop on them. Keep them fairly nice in size. Grill them on both sides, and there you go. Very quick and easy to make. Very simple, and it tastes so good. You can also use this as a cold pasta. So if you're going somewhere this summer, I would make my pasta the day before maybe, put it in the refrigerator so that it gets that, pasta salad thing going for it. I would maybe grill my veggies the same day because we all know how that can go once they sit over. Well, these particular veggies, once they sit overnight, you don't want them to get mushy. So maybe I would grill them in real time, wait for them to cool down, and then just toss them in your pasta. So good. So easy. A meatless meal that can literally carry you from now until, I guess the fall, right? And even in the fall, girl, you could just add a protein in there, just add a meat, and it's like a whole new meal. It's not like a whole new meal. We will tell them it's a whole new meal, right? So try either one of those things and let me know what you guys think. Now, for today's topic, I wanted to talk about something that I mentioned on Threads. If you're not following me on Threads, I'm Tia V Fitness over there too. And I mentioned how just spending this whole month of March focusing more on wellness and making wellness more of a priority for me was really eye-opening for me because I really hadn't realized how not necessarily stressed I was, but how maybe I was internally carrying an underlying level of stress that wasn't apparent to me until I went on vacation, right? Because typically, when you go on trips, you either go with your kids, and that is work. It's a vacation for your children, but it is still your everyday situation for yourself, right? When you go on trips without kids, it kind of depends on what what kind of trip it is, right? And up until this point, I think my husband and I had always done trips that had a lot of activities, right? You're going somewhere this day. You're getting up early for this. You got tickets to that. We've got reservations for this. We got to be here on time, or we're going to spend the day walking and shopping, or like whatever it is. But in my opinion, now that I have experienced something different, those trips were not centered around like wellness or rest or relaxation, right? Which is fine, because those types of trips are great too. I just didn't leave any of them feeling like I was like recovered or like refreshed. I had recuperated from my day-to-day life. After this trip that I had in February, I came back from it feeling like rejuvenated, like I had had a chance to actually not maybe necessarily miss my life at home, because that trip actually made me want to move. It made me want to pick up my kids and move to an island. But it signaled something to me that like, wow, your everyday life is not like this. The way you feel right now, like the way your nervous system is kind of like at ease, and you feel relaxed, and you feel just so much better than you normally do. Like you don't feel like you're a wound up, like ball of like stress and angst. You never feel like that at home. So how can we feel like this, but like in our everyday life? It's the question that I asked myself once I got back home and I started doing like my day-to-day things again. And so I had to give that some thought, because I really didn't even know where to start with that, because I feel like in the course of any one day, we as women fit a lot into one day, right? And I guess that is a huge range. Like, I don't want to just generalize all of us, because some of you might have this under control and you might not feel this way. But for me, I'm like, yeah, I have 3 kids and 2 dogs. And I tell everybody that now. When you're asking me about stuff, or if you're asking me if I can do something, if I want to do something, if I can make it to something, I'm like, I have 3 kids and 2 dogs. Give me a chance to think about it. Give me a chance to see what I have the capacity to do after I have dealt with them all week long. But I started thinking about it, and I'm like, yeah, cramming so much into one day is probably step 1, for where you've probably gone a little bit left, right? And when I thought about that, I was like, well, let's sit here and think about what you have to do out of all the things you do in one day. What are the things you have to do? Well, you have to feed your kids. You have to take them to school. You got to pick them up from school. You can't just leave them over there. And you got to be a parent. You got to raise them, right? That's a non-negotiable. Outside of being a parent, what is the next thing that you have to do? Well, you have to earn an income. You have to work at a certain level so that you are constantly bringing some sort of an income in, right? So yes, you have to do that. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Then the next thing you have to do, I'm like, well, you do kind of have to be on some type of schedule with make sure this place isn't crumbling to the ground, right? You want to make sure it's clean in here. You want to make sure that people have clean clothes, that things are functioning as they should. And even though 5 people live here, for the most part, you also do the heavy lifting with that. Now, if you're someone who's in a completely opposite situation than me, girl, you just sit back and enjoy the conversation. But for those of us who can identify with being the person that does a lot of the heavy lifting, girl, let's try to help each other out. So when I thought about it, I'm like, yeah. So in any one day, I'm trying to, make sure that I'm making these really good meals for these children. I'm trying to make sure they're where they're supposed to be on time, which is kind of stress inducing, but maybe not so much because you do kind of get into a flow with that. I'm trying to work. I'm trying to find clients. I'm trying to figure out exactly what my focus should be like as a business. And that is a journey that I don't know if it will ever like have an ending point. But I'm constantly trying to figure out what I should be doing so that I'm putting my time towards things that are yielding the kind of results that I want, right? And that's tough when you are the business, you are the marketing, you are the IT, like you do all of the stuff, right? Then for that last piece, but it's kind of like, well, you still need to find time to do laundry, and you still need to find time to take these kids to their extra activities, to the dentist, to the orthodontist. You got to go to the grocery store. You forgot to pick up your pickup order at Target. And so some days I feel like I'm just in my car bouncing around from one errand to the next, while also trying to come back home and like walk dogs and like do the whole thing. So just the whole picture to me, even when I think about it now at the end of March, kind of tightens me up a little bit. It kind of stresses me out. It's low-key stressing me out, right? Okay, so I'm like, what things can I immediately relieve myself of to help me try to feel more ease in my day? So for the month of March, the first thing I said to myself was, well, for the month of March, you'll work out at home. Simple, right? You will work out at home because that should eliminate the having to be in and out of the gym by a certain time and like racing back at home to try to make the most of what time you have left before school pickup, right? So I eliminated that. That one thing had a huge impact on my day, right? So the next thing I tried to be really, really good about, and of course, some weeks were better than others, but the very next thing I tried to do was force and really stick to the idea that y'all can eat these leftovers. Now, to know me is to know that I actually like cooking. I like cooking. I like baking. During this month of March, I discovered Nara Smith on TikTok, and I love what the girl is doing. She literally makes everything from scratch. And when I mean everything, I mean the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the Cheez-Its, the bagels, everything. If her family says that they want it, my good young sis is waking up early in the morning, pregnant no less, waking up early in the morning, and she's making all of those things from scratch. And I love that for her. But yeah, I implemented a rule that says if it is still leftovers in this refrigerator, like if I can open my refrigerator and see a meal, I'm not cooking. Like, I'm not going to put food on top of food. I joke with them that this is a diner and like I run a restaurant because I do. At least for breakfast, I run something similar to a Waffle House, but it's nicer, you know? But I'm like, for lunch and dinner, if I can open that refrigerator or that freezer and see something that you guys are capable of doing for yourself or warming it up or whatever, I'm not cooking because that too will give me some of my time back. And that has been truly helpful for me. Now, I know some families have their feelings about leftovers. Y'all don't like them. I'm like, hey, first of all, groceries cost a lot of money. Let me repeat that. First of all, groceries cost a lot of money. And at this point, I'm like, it's actually kind of crazy for us not to eat the leftovers because my grocery bill is insane, right? And for y'all to not be eating the food that I make, or for me to be like cooking every single day for dinner when it's food already in here, is a true, literal waste of money. So I'm like, we gotta stop that. So not only will that give me time back, but it will also give me some of my money back. It will also give me some of my money back because I think right now, as a family of 5, we definitely spend anywhere from $1,000 to $1,200 a month in groceries. But that includes like Tide, Downy, dryer sheets, cleaning supplies, like all of it. Definitely, we are spending at least that much. And I know we're spending that much because I always see my fuel points from Kroger. And I always have $1 off of gas. No matter when I go to pump gas, I'm never paying whatever y'all are paying Mine is always $1 off of that. And I love that for me. But that's only because I spend so much money at the grocery store that's happening. But anyway, so yeah, I eliminated that. That is giving me my time back. Then as far as like the cleaning and the laundry and all of that, I told myself, well, since you're not cooking every day anymore, that could be time that you can sit and enjoy a show and fold clothes, right? You can make the little boys put their own laundry away, because if it's folded, all they got to do is go put it in a drawer. You can do that. I had talked to my mom like last year about her robot that mops and cleans her floor. And I just thought that was so cool, but I was always skeptical about how well it works. My mom does not have any pets. So I'm like, and y'all are empty nesters. Your floor is always clean. And she would be like, well, no, it's always clean because of the little robot and blah, blah. And so she explained to me how it worked. And so one day I said, you know what? If I was willing to pay a housekeeper $600 a month to come over here and clean my house, I can spend $600 one time, buy this machine, and hope and pray that it works. Because if it doesn't, I'm going to be mad. So I got the machine, I set it up. And when I mean to tell you, it's been one of the best things I have ever done in 2024. It might make my list by the end of the year. It could very well be in like the top 5 best things I did this year, because now I no longer see grass from where little children and dogs are coming in and out of my house, tracking grass all over the place, because we have dark hardwood floors. So when the grass was in here, I could see it. And that used to drive me nuts. I can see paw prints and shoe prints and all that kind of stuff. Now, when I see shoe prints and paw prints and grass, I pick up my cell phone and I tell that robot to go sweep and mop my house. And then he does. And then it's like it never happened. And I love that. Now, it takes him quite some time to do it, but I would rather it take him all day to do it than for it to take me, the hours it used to take me. So if you are looking for something like that to help you out at your house, girl, message me and I will send you the one that I have, because it does what it's supposed to do and I love it. But yeah, so I did that to kind of give myself some of my time back. And I feel, and we haven't even talked about what I actually did for wellness. This is just me cutting out stuff that used to get on my nerves, right? I feel so much better just off of implementing some of those small things, that it has definitely made me not feel as like tense and stressed. It has helped me get in bed on time at night. Like I was getting in bed at like 10 every night. Now I'm like upstairs and like ready for bed at like 8 o'clock. Like it's amazing. I have gotten so much of my time back. Now, for wellness, some of the things that I felt like I needed to do once I gave myself a chance to really think about it, I was like, well, number one, Tia, you are easily triggered when you can see things that need to be done. Like that bothers you. You need to identify that, like for yourself, and then figure out what you're going to do about it. So like the floors used to trigger me. I got the little robot, right? Seeing laundry that needs to be done or needs to be put away bothered me. So for 1 week, I was like, I'm not going to do anything else other than feed you guys and do laundry. I'm going to get this laundry under control so that I no longer am stressed out by it. Now, I know that people wear clothes every day. And I know there will be a time where maybe the laundry gets away from me. But for right now, at least I'm getting to experience what it's like with it being on a schedule. And I have to say, it has calmed me, or like it has given me such a sense of calm that I didn't know it was keeping me from. Now that the laundry is under control, I'm like, man, that used to really bother me. And I'm pretty sure that was part of why I used to be so stressed, because I could see the mess. So definitely getting on top of the laundry helped me out. I got on top of it by making sure my daughter was doing her own, which she's normally really, really good about it, but she does her own laundry, and that is a huge help. The little boys have started putting away their own laundry. Now, because they are 8 and 10, you might go in there and they may have crammed all of that laundry into one drawer. But when I mean to tell you, I don't care. I don't care, because in the morning when they get up, I'm like, what do you want to wear for school? Pick out a shirt, pick out some pants, let's go. Right? I'm like, I don't have to have everything just so. And I had to tell myself, Tia, who is coming in here and inspecting their closet and their chest of drawers? Nobody. So does it matter if it's perfectly organized and if it's Marie Kondoed and rolled a certain way? No, it doesn't matter. Let it go, sis. Let it go like Keisha Cole, because it's stressing you out to feel like everything has to be like perfectly perfect in all of its perfect little ways. And it's like driving you mad. So like, let it go. And so that was another thing that I did this month. I literally let a lot of things go. And that was one of them. So that's what helped me get to a good place with the laundry, making them either do their own or making them, the little boys, at least put away their own. I have made the little boys start cleaning up their own rooms, right? Because I was still doing that for them, because I felt like, I mean, they can clean it up, but it still wasn't like how it would be if I did it. And one day I said to myself, well, of course it's not, Tia, because they are 8 and 10 and you are 40. They also they are not. They just are not growing up like you did. So their ability to clean, like maybe you think they should be, just isn't there. It'll come. But for today, you need to just accept what their little 8 and 10-year-old level of cleanliness is, because it's not gross in there or anything like that, but it's like, oh, I would put their toys away. I would put those toys away in a different way, or I would roll your controller up a different way. You know, I wouldn't leave such and such like this, right? I had to get over that and be like, you tell them to go in there and clean up. They go in there and clean. They do vacuum. And so that's it. Now, I still clean their bathroom because they are 8 and 10, but I'm like, the room, send them in there. They make their beds. They do vacuum. They do put toys away and things away to the best of their ability. I don't allow eating and drinking upstairs, so I don't ever have to worry about anything like that. But yeah, I'm like, delegate, let them do it. And it takes some of the work off of you, right? So that's another thing that I did. I also, made sure that I wasn't allowing anyone else to have a strong control over my time, right? And I think, did we talk about this on our last call? I don't know. But I really did think about going back into like a personal training agreement with the gym. But at the end of the day, I was just like, no, Tia, it's probably in your best interest to not do that. Because what happens when you do that is you give another human being who is just like you, meaning that every day is not going to be the day that we planned, right? You give them control over your time. Your session cannot start until your personal trainer is there, which means if they're late, your whole day is late, and we not doing that no more. So I've started doing some other things that I think are getting me more excited about my fitness journey again, that I'll share in a little bit. And that has also just given me a sense of ease about my day, because I'm not rushing from school pickup to the gym to meet somebody only for that to turn into a situation where I could become irritable because they're running late. Because I don't like waiting. I don't wait. What did Megan Thee Stallion say? She don't wait because she too outstanding or something like that. I don't know. Go read the lyrics. But I'm like, yeah, no, I don't like waiting for you. And I think that comes from a place because I know what all I have to go through to be on time. And I'm like, if I can make it through all of that, in my mind, I tell somebody, or I tell myself, you didn't have nearly as many obstacles as I did to get here on time. So like, why am I waiting? Like, why am I waiting for you? So yeah, that I think helped like also just get rid of a lot of the stress that was happening. And it gave me a lot of calm back to my day. So definitely eliminating what I could, doing tasks that needed to get done. So that's no longer causing me any type of like mental stress. So as I walk through my house now, I can walk through here now and I'm not seeing things that need my attention anymore. And that has calmed me down severely. The things that you can't see that needed to get done, I even had that stuff done. So I had like somebody come over here and clean the gutters. I had somebody come over here and clean out the dryer vent. I had somebody come and address the fact that no matter what I did or whoever I had come service it, my microwave would just keep going out. Right? So I finally got to the bottom of that. So I'm no longer annoyed about that either. Like I took the time to address the things that were getting on my nerves. And that has given me so much like ease back into my day. My mental space is free and clear because I have just gotten rid of the things that were stressing me out. So for some of the other things that I've been doing for wellness all month, I decided that I was going to slow my day down enough to actually practice a skincare routine. Now, one thing that I didn't talk about that happened when we were on our trip is that I got severely sunburned. Like I was sunburned to a place where I thought I was going to look like that for the rest of my life. Like I didn't know if I would be able to come back from that. And I prayed when I got home, I said, Lord, if you see fit to give me my real face and chest and arms back, if you let my skin come back to what it was before this, when I mean to tell you, I will not skip another skincare routine. I'm not going to skip it. I'm not going to skip it. And I'm going to stop being cheap about how much product I use at a time, right? I will do that skincare like the biggest of TikTok influencers because I now see what my skin would look like if I never took care of it and I just sat outside in the sun all day. And that's not what I want for myself. And I know that's not what you want for me. So give me a second chance, Lord. And he did. I got back home and I started using my skincare products that I had already purchased. It's just that I was always super let's not say cheap, but I was, I would ration those products out because people don't want to run out of them and then have to go back and buy them again. You don't want to have to be constantly replacing them. But now I see the difference because I was able to slow my day down and my day wasn't so jam-packed with like mess and irritation. I actually can stand in front of my sink twice a day now and practice a good skincare routine. And I can see the results. It's only been 1 month, but I'm like, oh, wow, my skin looks great. And that's not something that I think I could say about myself before. I mean, I was always a cute girl, but my skin never really looked like I wanted it to. And now it does. It's got like that plumpiness to it. It's got like that nice sheen, glassy look. And I know that is because now I'm using the correct amount of product and I'm doing my skincare routine twice a day. For anyone that's interested, I exclusively, for the most part, use the Neutrogena Hydro Boost line. I swear by it. If you have dry skin or had issues with dry skin in the past, that line will get you all the way right. I use that. And I use a retinol serum that's not a part of that line. I mean, that line has a retinol, but I wanted a retinol that was a little bit more gentle because I didn't want it to rub my face raw, So I picked one that's supposed to be more gentle, and I think that it is because I've been using it and haven't had any issues. But yeah. That I've been doing my eye patches. I've been using my little rollers. Like I've had time to actually do the things that I want to do because I'm not doing all this other stuff that either doesn't matter or that gets on my nerves. all of this has helped me, number one, get better sleep at night. So I'm noticing that I'm sleeping a lot better. And that's probably because my mind isn't racing when I go to bed, because I'm no longer thinking about all the things that I've got to do, because I'm not looking at them all day. And I think that's like subliminal messaging that I inflicted on myself, because I was so busy doing stuff, either not at home, or when I was home, I was so busy doing all this other stuff that I felt like I could never get to the things that needed my actual attention. And subliminally, that was stressing me out to the point where it was affecting my sleep. Because then when I go to bed at night, I would be thinking about all the things that I didn't get done. Even though I had done a lot during the day, I still felt like there was still so much left for me to do. And I had a very kind of like defeated attitude about it. Well, cause I would say to myself, well, you can only do so much in a day. Like, and you can only do so much in a day. And I don't think running a household and like working and like all of the responsibilities we have, I don't think any of that was meant to be done without having a little bit of help. I really don't. And so getting help, like from the people that actually live here, that create the messes, getting them to help out was huge. Getting the little robot to help was huge. And then just flat out saying I'm not going to do certain things anymore was huge. So now I am able to do things like practice the really good skincare routine. Something else that I realized that I really wanted to start doing again, but just kind of didn't have the time to do, was get back into creatively thinking about classes and teaching classes. I want to talk about this in the workout report part of the episode, but some of the things that I had time to kind of think about and process about where I am in my fitness journey has led me back to like the classes that I teach. And I don't know if I would have gotten there if I hadn't freed up some of the load that was on me mentally. So I've been able to kind of get back into the group fitness instructor part of what I do. I'm not teaching classes anywhere. Right now, I'm definitely like in the planning phase and in the brainstorming phase of how that can happen. I've also gotten to a place where I know now, like as a fitness business, what it is I want to do, like exactly what it is I want to do and what I don't want to do. And I think I've been able to kind of decipher that because, again, I'm not thinking about all this other stuff. I listened to this audiobook months ago that talked about the 2X versus the 10X strategy of getting things done. And basically what it talks to you about is making sure that you are allocating a lot of your time to the things that you absolutely know you need to do in order to be successful, right? And if it's a task like laundry or something like that, that really doesn't help move the needle on anything, basically they're like, get somebody else to do it, right? And I think that can be true in some cases. I think that when you are like a family person, that can be kind of difficult. So what I have learned for myself is like, oh no, I just need to find maybe like that 70-30 split to things, right? And for me, this is not true for everybody. It just won't be because everybody's situation is different. But for me, what I learned through this month of just focusing on ways to relieve myself of any stress is that I definitely need to take more of like a 70-30, 60-40 approach to how I live life or how I've been looking at it before. So before, because fitness is what I do for work and fitness was important to me, like working out because I was about to turn 40, I was putting so much time into that I had literally gotten off track in almost every other area of my life. And I noticed that was stressing me out, feeling like I was too split, feeling like I was borrowing time from myself. which is impossible to do. But I would feel like, well, if I'm at the gym, then I'm not at home doing such and such. If I'm writing a newsletter or writing an article for somebody, or if I'm recording this podcast and I'm not, then I'm not starting dinner, and I'm not feeling like you're always just not quite where you should be for productivity, right? I think that getting to a place now where I say to myself, you would be better off having some type of 70-30, 60-40 split with how you approach your day and your work life, will reduce your stress dramatically. And what do I mean by that? I mean by that is that now, instead of making the, like, how am I going to run this business or grow this business or scale this business, my first thought of every day and my last thought before I go to bed at night, I have decided, let me flip it. Let me make sure I'm taking care of the things that actually mean something to me. And it means something to me to be available for my kids. It means something to me to have a house that's like functioning in a way that's not stressing me out. It means something to me to be able to practice a skincare routine, or like walk my dogs in peace with coffee, or like just have a slower approach to the day. I want to have time to read a book or watch a TV show without feeling like guilty about it because I feel like I should be doing something else, right? So we're going to start doing that stuff first. The things that actually mean something to you, that you actually enjoy, that feed you in some way, we're going to do those things first. And then at some part during the day, yes, you will figure out what's going on in terms of you having and running a business, which is very hard. I don't know if you know any entrepreneurs or anybody that's trying to run and grow and operate a business all by themselves, but it is not as easy as you might think that it is. It's actually very hard. But I will say that work does not stress me out, which is why I'm able to flip it. And so that's what I wanted to say with that piece. I know that won't work for everybody, but when I actually had time to focus and think about just how I was going about my life in the day this month, throughout the month, when I was kind of, 1 week I would do something one way, and then the next week I'd do it a different way. And then for a couple of days I tried something else out. And I ended up figuring out that no, work does not stress you out. You actually enjoy what you do for a living. You actually like it. It is fun for you. It just doesn't stress me out, right? So you need to tackle the things that are stressing you out and eliminate those things so that when you are actually working, you can do it without feeling like you're, again, borrowing the time, right? So that definitely just gave me a completely new way of looking at my day. It gave me a sense of like ease and calm that I don't think I knew I could have. And I keep using the words ease and calm because my life before this just wasn't like that. And I'm so grateful that I even thought to try this for a month. And I think in terms of like your fitness journey, because somebody might be like, oh, she didn't go to the gym this whole month. I mean, well, yeah, I worked out at home. I did what I either could do or wanted to do on any given day. And so that was another part of this for the month of March. I didn't stress myself out about it if one day I was like, no, today you're going to use all of your time to just do laundry, or you're going to use all of your time to like go through this closet and declutter it so that when you open it, you can actually see what you do and don't have, right? You're going to use all of your time today to clean off the office desk, or you're going to use all of your time today to go through your email and clean it up so that when people do email you, girl, you can see it. Like, because people will say like, oh, I'm going to have so-and-so email. A friend just did that a couple days ago. She's like, oh, I'm going to have so-and-so reach out to you. Her name is so-and-so. And I'm like, okay, well, thank goodness that I cleaned out that email. So now when they email me, I know it's not going to get lost in the sauce because it's straightened up. Like I think just taking the time, like for me, buckling down and addressing the things that were causing me stress just lifted the biggest load off of me. And now I can see and feel what life should be like without all of that stuff like hovering over me mentally. I learned that having a slower pace to the day is very achievable. You do have to kind of have a plan in place, and you kind of have to follow the plan. But as long as you're doing that in a way that works for you, you can absolutely have some type of balance to life where you don't feel like things are out of your reach. So I no longer feel like, I no longer feel like, and I keep using laundry because that's really my arch nemesis. I no longer feel like being in control of laundry is something that I'm incapable of doing. I no longer feel like, oh my gosh, I have to cook a new thing for them because they don't want to eat leftovers. Like, girl, I let that go. And I'm like, if you don't like what's in there, you can have whatever you want. Just, it's got to be something that I'm not going to cook. Right. I feel like I have been able to get as close to that relaxed feeling that I had on my trip without like becoming an unproductive person, right? I feel like for so long, I felt like I had to be doing all these things so that, number one, people wouldn't think that I was just like lazy. You know what I'm saying? And then number two, I felt like I had to be doing all these things and like running myself ragged because I didn't want myself to think that, I was like wasting time, or that I was just, I don't know, just maybe just not being as productive as I feel like is expected of me during the day, which is a totally different conversation, not one that we could have today for the sake of time. But I do feel like when you are a person who works for yourself, I feel like when you are an entrepreneur, especially if you have children and you work your job from home, I really do feel like people, depending on maybe what it is you do for a living, I really do think people don't think you're doing anything all day, right? And I think because I've always felt like I had to fight against that type of thinking from other people, I felt like I just piled on more stuff in my day so that when people say, well, what did you do today? I could be like, well, I did this, and this, and I did that, and I did this, and blah, 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 blah. And by the time I would get finished, the person that I'm talking to would be like, oh, girl, I'm tired just listening to you. And I'm like, yeah, I do a lot in a day. And I used to find so much pride in saying like, oh yeah, I get so much done in a day. Whereas now, and it's not that my energy level has changed, because my energy level, like I still have a lot of energy. So I could keep performing this way. I just don't want to. So it's like, whereas now I think, I'm finding it that I'm going to be okay with saying, like, when people say, what did you do today? For example, like today, I'll be like, oh, well, I was going to take my braids out, but I decided not to. I recorded a podcast episode. I did do a little bit of laundry. And like, girl, that's it. And tonight for dinner, they're eating leftovers. Like, I need to be okay and comfortable with my life having a certain level of ease, because at the end of the day, it just does. And I think the more resistant I was to just resting in that, that also was causing me a certain level of stress. So there will be days where I'm like, maybe responding to some of the questions that I get through my Instagram DMs about like food and workouts and stuff. But even with that, I'm like, I'm about to bring that to a screeching halt too, because I think something like that also causes me a little bit of stress, because I'll see like that I have messages from people that I need to respond to, and I will open up the messages and I'll say to myself, people just need to sign up for the app. Like, if you want me to answer your questions or talk to you about your fitness journey or any of this stuff, you just need to join the app. I shouldn't be sitting here spending like time during my day that I could be using to do other things, responding to people who I'm not even like working with. So the people that do use the app, and by use it, I mean that they actually log their food and their workouts, they know if they reach out to me, I respond to them immediately. Like, you don't have to wait. If you are in the app and you are actually working out, logging your food, participating in stuff, when you message me, I message you back immediately. It is instant, right? So I also have to get to a place where I'm responding to people in my DMs. And maybe this is like the public service announcement for that. If you message me on Instagram asking me about stuff, I think from here on out, I'm going to message you back and be like, hey, girl, I answer these kind of questions in the app. This is the link that you can use to join it if you want to talk to me about these kind of things. Because right now, having myself like spread all over the place just isn't really conducive to me having, a day that allows me to actually live my day and breathe at the same time. Because like I said at the beginning of this call, like, girl, I got 3 kids and 2 dogs, and that should be enough for any one person. But, I also like the work that I do. I enjoy it. So I want to keep doing it, but I just need to start even doing that in a way that makes a lot of sense for me in terms of my time. And then now I know somebody is listening to all of this and they're thinking to themselves like, well, girl, you need to get your husband to do X, Y, and Z. And I just want to say my husband does enough. He does enough. He does enough. And when he's home, trust me, I stay on his neck too about doing the stuff that he is supposed to be doing around here. He does not get off free. I treat him just like I treat myself, and that I'm like, hey, don't act like you don't see that mess, because I know if I see it, you see it, So, I mean, I make him get involved, and he does help when he can, but like low key, his work schedule just really doesn't even allow him to do much of it, which is why I end up doing the heavy lifting. And also not too much on him, because like I told y'all last month, it's my man, until I feel like the whole, the whole vibes of that trip have run out. And then I'm going to be back to my regular degular with him. But, so hopefully that kind of sheds light on my little month of wellness challenge for myself, because it was extremely eye-opening to me. And I do feel like I came out on the other end of this month just at a completely different place. Like, I do. Like, I just feel like I'm in a completely different place. I'm actually like enjoying things, I'm actually enjoying things, and I don't feel rushed through every single thing. And I love that for me, because 60 days ago, that was just not the case. So yay for that. Now for the workout report, like I just shared, I took this whole month and I worked out from home, which, I have weights here, but the main thing that I've been doing is cardio. So I focused this whole month on cardio, whether that was walking and or running. And then at some point during the month, one of those days when I was just chilling, actually, I was sitting outside, right? I was sitting outside enjoying the nice weather on one of those days this month, because I wasn't stressed out about all the stuff I had to do. And I was, I might have either been on Threads or Instagram or something, and the Peachtree Road Race came across my timeline. And so I was like, oh, well, you know what? I've never done the Peachtree Road Race. We've lived here for a few years. I'm not even sure if they had it the COVID years, but I'm like, I've never done that. I've actually never even done anything more than a 5K. I'm like, so let me look into this. And when I pulled it up, it was not expensive to register for it. So I was like, why not? And so I went ahead and signed myself up because it just seemed like something fun to do. I said, if nothing else, this will make me get out there and run, which will help me a lot with my cardio goals. So I signed up for that, and I've been using the Nike Run Club app to train for this 10K. The training, I feel like, has been going pretty well. They build in rest days for you, so you're not running every single day. And the days that you do run, some days are like light runs or like short runs. Some days the runs are a little bit longer. Some days they have you do intervals with like speed runs or sprints, and then you rest. It's been enough of a variety that I don't feel like bored in any way by the program. I've been running in different places in my area to try to keep that exciting, to give me a chance to see where I like to run, what type of scenery keeps me like into it. So that's been nice, and I've been enjoying my training so far. The race is actually on July 4th, here in Atlanta, and I'm excited about it. I do need to buy new running shoes, and I'll probably do that this weekend, because yesterday after my run, I had to ice my shins because I could tell they were going to start hurting, and I know that's because I need to get new running shoes. So I've looked at a few different pair. Nike actually has some new running shoes that I want to try on, but I don't know if I want to buy them. You know, they look like they have the cushioning of like the Hokas, and I really do love my Hokas. I just need a new pair of them. But the Nikes seem like they have that same type of cushioning in them. But of course, we know Nike shoes are just going to be cuter. They're going to be cuter. They're going to have better colorways. They're just a cuter, more stylish shoe, right? And I don't know if that's why they cost so much more than than the Hokas, but they do. So a part of me wants those Nikes because they are so cute. And I'm like, the only issue that I had ever had with the Nike running shoe is the fact that I feel like it didn't have the amount of cushioning in the sole or like at the ball of your foot that I know I need. And back then I was running on a treadmill and I still felt like it wasn't enough, right? But now that they appear to have a shoe that can do both, like she can be cute and she can be cushioned, I feel like I want them. I just don't know if I want to buy them because I'm like, ooh, girl, after this race, how much of a running girly are you going to be? Because I don't think training for this race or running this race is going to turn me into a runner. I don't think it will. Like, I think I'm going to continue to be a treadmill girl through and through. So that's the only thing that's kind of keeping me from going all in, because really you need two pairs of running shoes. And that's where Nike is losing me personally. Because I'm like, oh, normally when I buy running shoes, I get two pair, right? So that you can alternate, flip flop back and forth so that that one pair isn't getting like dogged into the ground. And certainly, even if I only got one pair right now, by the time we run on the July 4th, I will need a new pair of running shoes. Like, yes, I would need another pair. And whatever shoes you train in, you should also run on race day in those same shoes. So I'm going to think about it. I mean, if not, then I'll just end up buying another pair of Hokas. Because like I said, they were great, but they're just not, they just wouldn't be as cute with my little race day outfit. So we'll see. And of course, I have already picked out a race day outfit. But we'll see. We'll see. But I'm training for the race. I'm excited for it. It'll be the longest distance I've ever run before in my life. And we'll see what happens. I just want to finish. I just want to start the race and finish. I'm really not clocking like any time or anything like that. For my workout, I will be moving towards doing Pilates for my upper body workout. I'm going to get back into that. Like I said, creatively, I'm back in a place where I do want to start planning group fitness classes again. And because I've had so much time to like think and reflect this month, because I've had the time, I realize now that my classes that I used to teach, not only did they give people results, but they gave you the right kind of results. Like the people that took my classes had lean, good looking bodies. I mean, I did too. That could be because I was teaching the class 6 times a week. And for some days I taught it more than once in a day, but yeah, my classes were great. So I'm like, oh, I want to get back into, planning classes again, possibly teaching classes again. And I know a lot of that starts with me just practicing Pilates like on my own, because I've got to get my upper body strength back to where it used to be. And I don't think that lifting weights gives you the same type of strength as Pilates does. You can fight me or at me on that if you want to. I just know for a fact that when you practice Pilates or like body weight exercises, you are a different kind of strong than you are when you can lift a heavy weight one time. I think anybody could probably do anything one time at their max, but can you do 50 push-ups? You might not be able to. I don't know. So I'm gonna get back into Pilates for my upper body workouts, and then I'm going to go to the gym on the days that I need to train my lower body and use the heavier weights there for that. And so I'm excited about getting back into the gym, and I'll make my debut back in April. My kids go on spring break the first week in April. So I have to figure out when I'm going to go work out while they're on spring break, because I have also decided that I'm not going to wake up early anymore when these children are on breaks, because that's what I used to do. So then therefore I'm like, am I getting a break though if I'm still waking up early? You know, like, what are we doing? But I was waking up early to go work out so that I could be back home by the time they were getting up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, no, Tia, that's insane. Stop doing that, because then you don't ever get a real break. But we don't want to go down that rabbit hole again. But yeah, I got to figure out what I'm going to do the first week of April so that I too get to sleep in and actually take advantage of spring break. And yeah, I think that's the workout report for now. Let's get into some of the random and relatable things before we go, girl. I think everybody has seen all of the Puff Daddy stuff on the internet. And you know what? I think this is worse than the R. Kelly thing. And I'm going to tell you why it's worse. And this is how I know he going to jail. Because you might be a nasty, disgusting individual. On your own account, you might be doing things you ain't got no business doing. But when you bring your offspring into anything that you're doing that you don't have no business doing, not only do I personally lose all respect for you, but I think the people who are in charge of keeping law and order also decide that they're just not going to take it easy on you. And so I think that is what has taken me out. When I saw that news footage the other day of his homes being raided and his children were in handcuffs. Now, granted, I know some of these children have been named in some of the cases that are out there against him. So I guess we'll wait for the facts on all of that to come out, right? But I feel like anybody who is a parent who allows their children to be subjected to some of that, guilty or not, you allowed your kids to be like detained, and you yourself are God knows where. And that, to me, that is like the lowest of low. Like, you were already doing some low down dirty mess, but then to like double down on you being an awful person, you decided that you were going to make sure that you were out of the public eye, like you're somewhere hiding, doing something, and you allowed your kids to be recorded getting detained. And I think that is like just beyond. it does not get any worse than that. It does not get any lower than that. So hopefully whenever they do get their hands on him, they put him exactly where he's supposed to be. Hopefully whatever truth there is to his children and his girlfriend, Caresha, hopefully all of that evidence leads them to where they are supposed to be. Because I understand his kids are like older now. They're not little babies anymore. And we just keep those girls, all three of them, the twins and the baby, just keep them in your T's and P's. Because my goodness, that's got to be hard for them to be living and going through that as teenage girls. I mean, I guess the baby probably will never remember this, but it'll be part of something she'll have to deal with when she gets older, or as she gets older. So, you know, those poor girls like that, I just feel so bad for them. Now, remember when all of this happened and we were waiting for Caresha to say something about her poppy? We were waiting for her to kind of speak out and say like something in support of Cassie. Like, are you a girl's girl? Like, how are you going to play this, Caresha? Because, girl, you need to do something. And Caresha did nothing. She never said anything. And now we know why. Caresha never said anything because the whole time, I can't speak for y'all, but I know I thought they were like dating, right? I thought they were dating, and I thought he was breaking her off with that money and them gifts. And I remember saying, like, oh, Caresha girls, city girls up, get it how you live it, right? Run that man's pockets dry, right? That was before the news came out yesterday that Caresha was just allegedly, because they taught me to say that in broadcast journalism school. Allegedly, she was just one of several women on his payroll for doing a certain kind of like grown-up work. And I guess if she was fine with doing it, then she was fine with doing it. And that's probably why we ain't heard Caresha say nothing. Because she probably knew what her job was. She was getting paid very nicely to do it. And she probably knew she didn't even have to go to work every day because he had allegedly, he had a couple other, like nice young girls. Well, by young, I mean they were just young women, older than 18, who consented to being paid for being on his staff. So that's why we ain't heard Caresha talk about nothing, because Caresha was down with it and she understood the assignment. So how she bounces back from this, like, girl, I don't know. Because I think her name has now been mentioned in the amended version of that case from that producer. So I don't know what that means for her because I'm not a lawyer. So I don't know. I don't know what that means for Caresha. But I do know it's not looking good. So the other day on Twitter, when people was asking her where was she at and what was she doing, and she was like, I'm here, like I'm ready for the summer. Girl, I don't know what summer you about to have. I do not know what summer you about to have, because that whole saying all money ain't good money is true. And you know who it reminds me of? Not that she has anything to do with this at all. But if you follow Maya, like My Love Is Like, Whoa, Maya. What was her other song? Well, she also had a song called If You Died, I Wouldn't Cry Because You Never Loved Me Anyway off of her first CD. But what was the other song she had with Cisco? I cannot think of it right now. But Maya talked in an interview one time a while back, it's been, about how she knows for a fact she never became like as big as her talent was, because when she was approached about doing certain things or being with certain people or like playing the game, she would not do it. And she said that's when her career like stopped, when she decided she wasn't gonna play any of those industry games. And so, yeah, I just think that that's crazy how you can see how that works out. For some people in the industry, they either get eaten up by the industry and maybe their careers take off. For some people, they say absolutely not, get somebody else to do it, and then you don't hear nothing else about them. So we'll see. A lot of other names have also been added to that most recent case. And so hopefully, because I'm like, girl, who y'all gonna listen to on the radio after this? Hopefully some of it ends up not being what the case is saying that it is. Because I'm like, who are we going to listen to? Now, very interesting. I was chatting with a friend the other day and we were talking about this, like, well, dang, now we got to stop listening to bad boy music. Cause, you know, Puffy was all in the videos. He was all on the music like Suge Knight said he was. And so people are like, we got to stop listening to their stuff. And I said, well, now hold on just a second. Because I did stop listening to R. Kelly. Like, I stopped listening to R. Kelly. He's not on my phone. And if I'm in a car and R. Kelly comes on, I change it. Like, if I'm listening to, like, Sirius XM or something like that, I will change it. And yes, they will still mess around and play something of his every now and again. I'll change it. With Puff Daddy, I think because he had so many artists under his umbrella, and those people just got the rights to their music, like what was that last year? I don't feel like I should have to stop listening to Lil' Kim because of something Puff Daddy did. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I should have to stop listening to my favorite songs by Mace because of something Puff Daddy did. Or like Biggie, or Total, or 112, or Jodeci, or who else? Or it's like Mariah Carey's Honey. Like songs that we know he had something to do with them. I feel like I don't think we should have to give them up just because he had something to do with like the makings of the record. But absolutely anything that's like an actual Puff Daddy song, yeah, like it's a wrap for that. It's a wrap. But the artists that were under his record label, I don't know. I just feel like they don't deserve for their music to get thrown out with him and his bathwater, because they just got the ability to make money from those streams back. So I don't know. I feel like that's a tough one, and we'll have to figure that out, how we're going to approach that. But something makes me like I would feel bad if if I had to stop listening to Lil' Kim. I don't know if I could do it, you guys. So I hope nothing come out bad about her. I hope nothing comes out bad about her, because I don't know if I could do it. So I don't know. How do y'all feel about that? I feel like that's a tough one. I feel like that is a tough one. Something else that's been all over my TikTok timeline is J-Lo and her downfall. We talked about her documentary on the last call, and I stand by everything I said about her in that documentary. Now, apparently, other people watched her documentary and they came out of it with some completely different feelings about it and very strong feelings about it. Mainly they kind of feel like she's like a mean, awful person. And, you know, I kind of feel like that documentary is not something that we needed. Like, nobody asked for it. And like I said on the last call, the one thing that I know I took from it was, number one, you should have a very strong belief in yourself. Like, you should be confident in yourself to the point where it might make you a little bit delusional, right? Because that is what has made her a success. Her belief in herself, right? And she says this in the documentary, so that's not me making it up. She said that she's done everything with fear because she's always afraid we're going to pick on her. And in this case, she was right, because I didn't know this, but people were making, and I'm on this side of TikTok now. I'm trying to get off, but I'm on that side of it now, where people are like sharing their J-Lo stories. And unfortunately, I haven't seen a good one. And I've seen a lot. Because like I told you, I was taking this whole month off to just do the things I wanted to do. Rest, relax, and like keep my vacation vibes going. So there have been days where I just watched TikTok. And I saw a lot of J-Lo stories. And when I mean to tell you, I have not seen a good one. I have not seen one that was positive. And I really kind of hate that for her. On the one hand, I'm like, well, I guess you shouldn't be mean to people if you don't want them to tell anybody. But then on the other hand, I'm like, oh, but I know it means so much to her for people to like her and understand her. So I really hate that the documentary is like backfiring, because I know that just wasn't her intention. Like, she didn't make the documentary for people to now talk about her the way that they are. So I feel bad for her in that regard. But if you have time, and girl, if you want to get on that side of TikTok, look them up. It's not looking good for her. Now we know that tomorrow is the day that Cowboy Carter, Beyonce's new album, gets released. I'm very excited about it. Like, I plan to wear my cowboy boots. I have an outfit. Like, I'm ready to go. I will be spending the whole day listening to the album and enjoying myself. I'm so excited. She released the track list yesterday. So we see that she's going to be doing Jolene with Dolly Parton. She has a song with Willie Nelson. She pays tribute to Linda Martell. It seems like there are a lot of songs on the album, which is great. And I cannot wait to see how the girls get eaten alive, right? Because I think what Beyonce did here is, number one, she said, first of all, I'm going to do my version of what I think country music should be. She's like, I'm going to do country, but Beyonce, right? So I think, number one, she's already going to do that. Because by the names of those songs, we just know some of them are still going to give Beyonce lyrics, but she's just going to do it to like the whole country swag thing with like the banjo and the guitar and all of that. And I'm here for that. I have enjoyed 16 Carriages. It's a beautiful song. It's almost like one of those songs that you listen to it, and if you listen to it too hard, it might make you tear up a little bit. I love Texas Hold'em. Like, it's always playing in the background of my mind. So I'm very, very excited to hear the rest of this album, because I believe it's going to be similar to Act 1, in that when she put out Break My Soul, we thought the whole album was going to be like similar to Break My Soul. But when she put out the whole album, Break My Soul is nowhere near even the best song on the album, right? I feel the same way about this. I feel like while 16 Carriages is definitely beautiful, that lets us know like it's going to be more of that on the album. Like, it's going to be more of those slower songs. But we know that if she released Texas Hold'em, that means it's some raunchy country music coming up off that album, because Texas Hold'em was the one that was socially acceptable, right? She could put out Texas Hold'em, the girls would line dance, we could sing those lyrics, it could get played on the radio, easy peasy, boom. But it is a precursor to whatever else is on that album. I know she's gonna bring her rocket to Waterfalls energy, but make it country. I just know it. I know it's going to give Church Girl and Heated, and it's pure honey, but country. We know the lyrics are still going to be Beyonce, but it's going to be country, and I cannot wait for that to destroy the feelings of people who talk so much junk about her. Can't wait. And she has Dolly Parton and Willie Nelson on the album. So even if you wanted to ignore, like, as a person who probably is a country music fan, like, I'm not a fan of country music. I'm just a fan of the girls that I've discovered since Beyonce put her country songs out. So like Tanner Adele, hello. And I'm a fan of whatever this is we're getting tomorrow, right? But if you were one of those people who was planning on completely dismissing the fact that she was tiptoeing into a different sound, now you can't ignore it, Baby, because you know you can't ignore nothing that Dolly Parton or Willie Nelson does. So you can say what you want about the album. You can say, well, I didn't listen to the album. I only listened to Jolene and then whatever song she has with Willie Nelson. Like, you can say that, but you're still going to have to give her those streams. You're still going to have to listen to it because you yourself are going to want to hear these legends do whatever they're doing with her. Like, you can't look away now. You can't look away. And I love that she is that cutthroat and savage, because you can't say it's not country, because now are you going to say that Willie Nelson and Dolly Parton aren't country? Is that what you're about to say? Were you going to say that? Because I know that's what you were going to say. You were going to say, and she even said it. She was like, this ain't a country album. It's a Beyonce album. And she said that just to get underneath y'all's skin. Because what she just said is, I'm an artist. I am music. I'm not a genre. I'm a musical artist. So I don't make music that fits into any one type of genre. I make music. I make whatever music moves me in the era that I find myself in, right? And it just so happens that right now she is in her country music era, and she has Dolly Parton and Willie Nelson on the album. So you cannot look away. You can say it's not country, but then that would also mean that you're saying that whatever song she has with the two of them, that's not country either. And I know you're not going to say that. And I love that. And I can't wait to hear what the people have to say. I also saw people saying that her cover to the album, the one where she's sitting on the white horse with the American flag, people were really offended by that. And I'm like, well, is she not American? I thought we were all, yay. Like, I thought we were all, here for the red. Are we not? Are we not? Are we not all technically? Now, I might not agree with everything America be doing, because she do be doing some hot mess. But at the end of the day, did we not all grow up saying the same Pledge of Allegiance in school? So does she not have the right to wear her colors and hold her flag? And then if you say no, then tell me why. Is it because she has been so vocal about being pro-black? Because you can be pro-black, but still, I guess, if that's what you want to do, put on your Old Navy Independence Day t-shirt every summer. I mean, I don't buy those. I don't wear those. Now, maybe decades ago, before I became myself, when I didn't know myself, you might could have caught me with that on. But these days, no. But it doesn't mean that I am any less American, because I will vote and I still pay my taxes. I vote and I still pay my taxes, just like her. And I feel like if you doing that, girl, you can do whatever you want to. I'm just not going to give Old Navy my money for something that I can't wear year after year. And because also, low key, like, I don't even think the flag is cute. Like, if I was going to dress up for the holiday in that way, like if I was going to be a 4th of July girly, I probably still would not do that. I would probably maybe do some stars. I could see myself doing that, but like in a cuter way. That just wouldn't be the vibe. But she looks great on the cover of that album. She looks amazing. I like the whole look. And we knew that no matter what she did, it was going to eat them alive. And so now they can just eat it. They can. And they'll make it through. We're all going to make it through the release of this album together. Some of us will just have more fun with it than others. And I'm very excited to hear it tomorrow. Yay, yay, yay. I just got finished watching the latest season of Buying Beverly Hills. I don't know if you follow that show at all, but it's a show about a real estate agency in Los Angeles. It features Kyle Richards from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Her husband and like his daughters have their own real estate agency. Apparently it's super successful. Like, of course it is. And I really do enjoy that show. And you know why I enjoy it? And this didn't hit me until yesterday when I was watching it as I was icing my shins before I went to bed. I was sitting there trying to get my rice on, rest, ice, compress, elevate, right? I was sitting there doing that, watching this show. And I was like, you know what? Selling Sunset is also a show about a real estate agency in Los Angeles, but it's real different. And what made me compare the two shows to one another is the fact that I recognized one of the properties that was on Selling Sunset. I guess the Oppenheim Group, they must have lost that listing. I don't know. But now it's being represented by the agency on Buying Beverly Hills. It's either that or maybe somebody sold it and now it's for sale again and they just went with a different agent. Either way, the property is on this show now too, and I recognized it. And I said to myself, well, you know what? Both of these shows are about real estate agencies in Los Angeles, but one of them is a show about real estate and one of them is a show about mess and drama. Not that Buying Beverly Hills doesn't have its own subplots about the people's personal lives, because it absolutely does. But real estate is at the forefront of that show. And get mad at me if you would like to, but it is my observational truth, so I'm going to share it. When I watch Selling Sunset, to me, it's like that show is produced like a soap opera, right? Nothing about the way anybody even dresses on that show says that they going to work, and surely that their work is showing houses, right? It is like a fashion show. So when you mix the fashion with the fact that it's always some real mean girl mess going on Selling Sunset, I forget that the girls are even selling real estate. I don't know that if let's say I fell into some money, right? Let's say, we don't know how I got it, but let's just say I did. And I was going to go buy a property in Los Angeles because, that's what you do when you're a rich girl. You're a rich girl, you go, you take your money to Beverly Hills or adjacent to it, and you buy yourself a nice home with a swimming pool, because they apparently all come with swimming pools, right? And you got to have the view, because all of them come with views of the city too, apparently. Okay. When I got to Los Angeles, I don't think I would be calling none of them girls from Selling Sunset to sell me no house or to help me find one. I can't think of one of them that works over there that I would call and be like, hey girl, come help me buy this house. Nope. Because everything about what I'm watching on Selling Sunset, none of it says that this is actually your real full-time job. Nothing about it. Now, when you watch Buying Beverly Hills, I could think of several of them, or really any of them, honestly, could buy me a house. And I would probably go with Brandon, because Brandon seems like an up-and-coming real estate agent who needs a buyer to help him crack that next, dollar amount open, right? Because right now they got Brandon selling the $1 million homes and the $2 million homes, and that's cute, but I would want him to bust the next level open. And if I couldn't get Brandon, then I would get Tyler, because, when I see another Black woman doing her thing and she's good at it and she's already very successful at it, I would be like, yes, Tyler. And she seems about her business. Tyler was not wrapped up in no drama. I would be like, yeah, girl, help me find this house. So I would go with either one of them. But anyway, anybody that works there, though, I know is a real life real estate agent, and they could help me. And I know this because of everything they got going on that show. So the houses are at the forefront of the show. The business of real estate is at the forefront of that show. a lot of the conversation that they are having on that show is about real estate. So you're learning a lot about the business, well, at least as it relates to the types of homes that they buy and sell over there. Yeah, they have like 90 offices all over the country, but all of them sell like, high-end luxury properties. But you learn a lot watching that show. And then it's kind of like their personal lives are just kind of like background noise. But it's interesting to me how one network can have a show essentially about the same thing in the same city, but one of them is actually a real estate reality show, and the other one is a show about girls that just walk through houses. And I don't know. Take that for what you will. I'm going to still watch Selling Sunset, though, because I got to see, what the girls are up to, but it's a completely different show. Completely different, even though they happen in the same place. I also watched Apple Never Falls. That's on Peacock. Very good show. Kind of puts you in the mind of a murder mystery. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give it away, but if you feel like binge watching something one weekend, check that one out. I also watched Oprah's special on TV the night that it came on. It's on Hulu now if you want to watch it. And I feel like, first of all, Oprah is really good at what she does. And I miss the Oprah Winfrey Show. And every time she does a special, I'm like, dang, girl, you still got it. Because she pulls you in, she educates you, and she makes you feel comfortable with whatever decision you make, right? On this particular special, she is definitely selling the idea of using a weight loss drug. If you have tried all of the things and none of them have worked for you, she basically is saying, try this. If you've tried everything else for years and years and years and it has not worked, she's saying, try this and I bet you it's going to work for you because it worked for me. And she tells you about the different companies. She has representatives from the different companies there. She has people telling their stories about their experiences with using the drugs. She even had a person up there who talked about their experience and it wasn't a good one. But they only had one person do that. But yeah, for the most part, it was people just sharing their success stories about using these new weight loss drugs like, what is that? Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, like all of those drugs you hear people talking about taking. Apparently the drugs are very expensive because people talked about that. How it is somewhat of a privilege to be able to use them because they are very pricey. People talked about the side effects of it. People talked about how it has truly been the only thing that's been able to help them lose weight and then keep it off. People talked about how life-changing that's been for them. They had teenagers on there, grown-ups on there. I mean, she really covered all of her bases. She even had the Weight Watchers CEO up there, and the CEO of Weight Watchers even made a statement on how, Weight Watchers basically focuses on behavior change through the counting of the points, and it teaches you how to eat based on points. And of course, we all know Weight Watchers is the plan that kind of teaches you fruits and veggies. You can eat as much of that as you want, but once you start tiptoeing out of that, like, girl, we got points assigned to it and you only get so many points a day. She even said that practicing something like Weight Watchers might not be enough for everybody. And for some people, you will still need a little assistance. Oprah talked about how obesity, or even maybe the way you think about food, is something that is like in your DNA, like you are programmed to be that way. She said kind of like people who drink. She was like, there are some people who overdrink and they never have a problem with like alcoholism, right? And she was like, and then there are some people who overdrink and they become alcoholics. She said it's the same with food, and these are her words, not mine. She said it's the same with food. You have some people who think about food and who eat food and they can eat as much as they want, and they never have an issue with either being able to cut themselves off or being able to like maintain their weight or their health. And she said, and you'll have some people who overeat and think about food in the exact same way, but it leads to obesity. And she was like, and for those people, like they are gonna need, that's basically what they said. They are gonna need the help of a drug to, help them get quote unquote better. So watch it if you haven't seen it. I felt like it was interesting. It didn't change my mind at all about what I think about, those weight loss drugs, but it did make me understand that for a certain person, it really does probably make all the difference for them. And so I left it feeling like, okay, well, for some people, I get it that they probably don't have a choice. It's very similar maybe to like having gastric bypass or having, like a surgery, a weight loss surgery. It's kind of like that, but it's not. And we all know that some people benefit from weight loss surgeries. Some of them don't. Some people get the weight loss surgery, and because they don't have that true behavior change, it ends up, working for a little bit, but then they regress. And I would imagine that the weight loss drugs operate in that same way. You can use them, but then if you ever should happen to get off of them for any reason, or if you get to a point where you can't afford them anymore, or what have you, if any real behavior change has not taken place, then where does that leave the person? And that would be my only concern about it. So yeah, watch it and see for yourself. And then lastly, just to give an update, because this was such a talked about thing when I shared it the first time. I think I talked about this earlier, but if I didn't, I don't want you to think I'm crazy. I had to record this podcast episode twice. So in the first recording, I know I talked about it, but I can't remember if I talked about it in this one. So the housekeeper's daughter ended up texting me like pretty recently and was like, hey girl, you need somebody to still clean your house? And I was like, girl, no. Like, girl, no. Girl, no. Where were you guys 2 months ago? No, I don't. I don't. I have found someone else to clean my house, and that person is me. So no, because now that I've had time to think about it, I'm like, do I want to give somebody $600 a month? No. And I know this could just be me and the experience that I have had. But even with having the experience of having someone come regularly to clean for me, I gotta be honest and say it does help to have somebody else come clean, but I have also learned that it only helps and frees me up mentally if they do just as good a job or better than me when they come clean. If I'm paying you to come over here and clean and I feel like you didn't do as good a job as I would have done, then I do kind of low-key feel like I wasted my money, because now I either got to be confrontational and say something to you about it, which I hate, or I got to go back behind you and clean, which definitely is a waste of my money. And so for those reasons, I'm like, yeah, no, girl. We're just going to pocket that money. We're going to pay ourselves that money every month, and we are going to move right along. Thanks, but no thanks. But had you written me back on time in January, you probably could have got this money. And isn't that how things tend to go? Well, I've had such a good time catching up with you guys. Feel free to message me about anything that we chatted about today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Remember, when you're out, compliment a woman, say something nice to her, make her day. Don't compete, don't compare, don't complain. What God has for you is for you. Never knock another woman's hustle. And I will talk to you on the next episode in a couple weeks. I love you, girl. Bye.